Hey, it's the 21st of December, 4 days before Xmas, and now I'm going to talk about the summer, not the summer. I'm going to make my podcast guy keep that in, the winter solstice. So first of all, the sun enters out of bounds at 6:07 p.m. GMT time. So out of bound planets in astrology are called this because their declination is greater than 23.27 degrees. Out of bound planets or luminaries, so we're talking about the sun here, in transit can enhance creative thinking and self-expression. Declination astrology is when the celestial equator, which is the terrestrial equator, I know none of this makes sense, but hey, it's to you, but trust me, extended into space, projected against the backgrounds of the stars. So yeah, the sun is out of bounds for a few hours as it transitions into the winter solstice. At this time, you could do like a unique meditation or self-reflection about how you can become your best self, getting more determined to take more passionate and positive action for the coming year to reach your goals and increase your energy levels. If you are a workaholic, thinking about the ways to relax more, have more fun by starting a new hobby or creative project based on what you really want to do, not on society's expectations, but what you really, that fire, that fall, that things that turn you on, sort of thing. So thinking about the ways you lack or are over enthusiastic, assessing how you are selfish and what you can do to reduce these behaviours. And if you people please, you can use this time to look into ways, even though it's a few hours, but hey, to how you can assert yourself. And all of this is pretty much the theme of the winter solstice that is exact at 9:49 GMT time. So I'm going to just break down, talk a bit about what the winter solstice is and then the astrology of this winter solstice. So yeah. The winter solstice is when the sun reaches its most southerly declination and is seen as a moment of balance between the darkness and the light of the year. It's a powerful cleansing and reawakening energy, signaling to individuals that it's time to understand and balance the darkness and light, the good and the bad, dare I say, even though I don't believe in such a things, but our most positive and our most negative behaviours within ourselves. So astrologically and spiritually speaking, the winter solstice is the time for you to go inwards, to take time out to honour and nurture your authentic needs and yourself. So the main themes of the winter solstice is basically rebirth, and for some people it's a time to reflect on their spiritual, their sort of pagan, their cultural or other beliefs. So as I said, the solstice happens twice a year. We have the winter one and we have the summer one. And when it is solstice time, basically the sun reaches its peak or nadir in relation to the celestial equator, which is, like a kind of grandiose term for a imaginal circle in the sky that doesn't really exist. But hey, the winter solstice is both the shortest and the darkest day of the year, but fear not, for the winter solstice signals the gradual return of the sunlight and that gives the promise that brighter days will come. Astrologically speaking, the winter solstice marks the beginning of the new astrological year. During this time, the planets and the cosmos energies can be felt more strongly, allowing us to tap into powerful insights and understanding. The winter solstice is a unique opportunity to become more in tune with our true nature, using the planetary powers to make positive changes in our lives. In general, the solstice doesn't necessarily have an overriding influence on, all zodiac signs, but it is a significant time because it does mark the start of the astrological new year, and it also marks the astrological and spiritual period of death, renewal and rebirth that follows the winter months. So we're talking in the northern hemisphere December, January, February. In the southern hemisphere we're talking testing me, June, July and August. So yeah, People use this time for self-reflection, having gratitude. Some people, many people, cultures across the world actually do rituals. And some people also use this time to prepare for the coming winter months, which is a good use of this energy as well. As the winter solstice passes, the days begin to lengthen. So it's the shortest day of the year, and as the winter goes on and we get into January, February, the sun begins to beam again, and giving us the promise that we can go ahead with a bit more optimism and faith. And some people also use this time to celebrate the waning of the light, the darkness, recognizing the return of the winter from the autumn and summer periods, and seeing the beauty in the darkness, and knowing that this is the time when things appear dead, but then the spring comes, and that gives us a promise and the possibilities of new beginnings. And also, because a lot of the time we avoid thinking about death, but the winter solstice is also a time where we can take some time out to contemplate life's fragility, find solace in nature, and honour the earth cycles. So yeah, the word solstice originates from the Latin solstitium, hope I'm saying that right, which translates to sun stands still. And this is because the sun pauses before altering its course northward or southward, depending, as I said, if you live in a place where the solstice happens in the winter solstice happens in June, or a place where it happens in December, and I'm talking about the northern hemisphere, December now. So yeah, the winter solstice marks not only the astrological new year, but also the astronomical winter and the astrological winter as well. So astronomical and astrological seasons depend on the position of the Earth in relation to the distance from the Sun. In Vedic constellational astrology, which I use, this happens when the Sun is in the constellation of Sagittarius always, and in the northern hemisphere anyway. And in Western tropic astrology, the winter solstice always happens when the Sun is in Capricorn. Astronomically and astrologically, the winter ends on the 20th to the 23rd of March in the northern hemisphere, which is the start of spring, which, we have the spring equinox. And in the southern hemisphere, the winter period ends on the 20th to the 23rd of September, and that's the start of the spring in the southern hemisphere. And the winter solstice, as I said, is the longest day. So daylight typically lasts 7 to 8 hours during the winter solstice, and night lasts 17 to 18 hours compared to the summer, when daylight lasts about 17 to 19 hours, and nighttime can last, anywhere between 5-7 hours. Sometimes I notice it's only 5 hours, but anyway, yeah. As I said, in the northern hemisphere, the winter solstice takes place when the sun is in the constellation of Sagittarius. So Sagittarius is a mutable fire energy, reminding us to be flexible in the coming year, but also to kind of blaze ahead with that fire, with that passion to get what we want, but also reminding us that we're going to have to be flexible in order to achieve this. As we use fire energy, we burn things to the ground to build new, uplifting, productive habits to replace energy draining and self-destructive ones. Sagittarius energy is also yang, masculine, doing energy. But being a mutable sign, Sagittarius can also embrace the feminine, yin, feeling energy, which is the feeling, reflective, introspective vibration. The symbol of Sagittarius is the archer with the arrow, reminding you to make sure whatever you put your effort and attention to is what you really want to manifest in your life. Because normally sometimes we're like, hey, I want a better life, but we spend every single day doing habits, being around environments that go against our goals. So this energy is getting us to get real about that, and wants us to focus on that, and wants us to choose the habits and the environments and the relationships that are going in the same direction. The archer with the arrow and the bow, shooting for the stars, or shooting towards our goals in our case, in the individual cases, finding the sweet spot between the expression of your personal traits, the good, the bad, and the downright ugly, because we've all got them without judging. We've all got crappy sides to us, every single person, no matter what they say. If they deny that, then you know they're lying. So yeah, accepting all sides of you, allowing yourself to get, obviously some people are nicer than others, but we've all got bad points. So yeah, accepting all sides of yourself, allowing yourself to get out of your comfort zone and becoming more open-minded as you teach yourself to use your inner darkness constructively and use it to grow willpower and take positive actions to bring more positive things into your life. Because wishful thinking, we can all be idealistic, because Sagittarius energy can be idealistic as well, but we have to take that practical action to push ourselves ahead and make those changes, even if it is painful. So yeah, regardless of past mistakes, heartbreaks, setbacks and current obstacles, the winter solstice is telling us, yeah, it's dark to let go, and it is dark, but spring will come, the summer will come, you start harvesting if you keep on taking the small steps. Now, sometimes we rush ahead, I'm guilty of it, and making these grand changes for 2 weeks. This is why most of us, New Year, we're going to be saying, yeah, we're going to start new exercise regimes, spend 2 weeks, trying to do 20 hours a day of exercise, if you get my point. And then after 2 weeks, that's it for the rest of the year, until when it's the other New Year. Just try and take 5 minutes, the small steps, slow and steady will win that race. And it won't be easy, but it is possible if you are willing and open to change. So some questions that can help you with self-reflections: do my actions match my thoughts? Do my thoughts promote a healthy or negative attitude? Do the relationships in my life support me or make me neglect myself? Are they in line with my authentic values and objectives? Who is the authentic me? What do I really want to achieve out of this current lifetime? How can I bring about more understanding of my life? Because after all, the tagline for the key phase for Sagittarius is I see. So are you stuck in old beliefs, or are you open to new ideas, people and experiences? Do you go over the top? Because Jupiter rules Sagittarius, and Jupiter in astrology spans everything it touches, for good or the bad. So what ways do you under or over exaggerate the facts? For example, are you honest about how you or other people's toxic behaviours affect your life? Do you praise yourself for your talents and skills, or do you fail to even acknowledge them or use them? Why do you do this? Does it go back to childhood? Most of us do. And I know, having had a difficult childhood and met lots of people that have, I realised that most of us do actually die in childhood, and it is hard when we go into our relationships and we get hurt and hurt and hurt. See the positive. But what I do with my life now is just realise that I cannot control others. I can only control how I respond and what I allow in my life, and these are the only things that we can do. And sometimes people don't intentionally mean to hurt us, but life can be hard. We can change. Astrology says we've got to go off in different life directions and stuff. So even though someone may promise you that they'll be with you forever, they sometimes can't keep that promises, and it can hurt. But I've seen people worth decades, years, their whole life, upset over something that happened 40-50 years ago, and they've wasted that 40-50 years. Yes, we must mourn, yes, we must grieve, but there's a time for everything, and there's a time when we have to just think to ourselves, I'm going to move forward and break out of it. So you may want to ask yourself questions like, as well, do you actively work to reach your highest potential? If not, why not? How do you pass the current trauma, stop you from visualising or creating a better life for yourself and carrying out the healthy behaviours that you know that will bring order and balance into your life? Are you straightforward with yourself? Are you direct, or do you bend the truth with yourself and others? Are you open-minded or closed-minded? If you are closed-minded, why? Do you form your own beliefs? Do you make up your own mind? And do you let other people do that for you? So yeah, those are some questions to help you with this reflection over the coming months. Sagittarius energy wants you to seek and evaluate knowledge at the time of the solstice and the coming 3 months, deciding for yourself what you believe in and being more optimistic and open to adventure without being too idealistic, argumentative, self-indulgent and harsh with words or your actions. Because yes, we must speak our truths, but as you know, many people did say to me in my youth, we must consider our own and other people's feelings. And sometimes it's not what we say. I got this a lot as well. It's how you say it as well. So just think about how you say people. Think, is there a better way that I can word this, that I can say this? So yeah. So now I'm just going to talk about the astrology of the winter solstice. So as I said, it happens on the 21st of December at 9:49 GMT time in the UK. So the solstice, as I said, it's about connecting with yourself and the rhythms of nature and earth, and it can be an incredibly illuminating and downright magical experience. At the time of the winter solstice, it's also time to slow down, reflect and embrace the unique energy of the season, seek out moments of stillness and find your innermost self among the cozy warmth of the crackling fire and hot cocoa, or for some of you, I don't know, Bailey's, tiramisu, or any other festive sort of like drink. So yeah, whether you're taking a walk in the woods or sitting in meditation, find joy in the simple things and allow yourself to explore the depths of your own being. Taking time to observe and listen to the natural world around us can increase our understanding of our personal development and allow us to explore our potential in the ways we may never even imagined. Sitting out in a grassy meadow, listening to the birds chirping can be surprisingly therapeutic, but hey, it's cold. So if you are going to do that, remember to wrap up warm, or if you're like me, because I know I'm going to try and go out. I am going to try. But if you don't want to go out, play some online streams of nature and be nicely warm in your home as you watch the snow fall on your screen. Praise whoever you believe in, that you're indoors and you're not outside. Or if you're feeling a bit daring, you can try and imitate the bird song to connect to the earth's natural rhythms, or maybe doing some drumming or making any other nature sounds that take your fancy right now. Because who knows, you may discover you've got a hidden talent in bird calling or any other nature sounds, or you may already have, and so the winter solstice is the perfect time to use those. This year, the winter solstice takes place when the sun is in the 6th degree of Sagittarius, which is a game of cricket, and I'll talk a bit more about that towards the end of this. So, as I said, Sagittarius, straightforward, mutable, doing sort of like energy which can switch between masculine and feminine expression. So you can cry it out with half of yourself and then use the other side to be like, come on now, let's pull ourselves together and start working towards the solutions. And it is important to grieve, but it's also important to heal. So yeah, right now Sagittarius is calling us all to get out of our comfort zones, firstly by taking us into our darkness and to mourn what's gone, what we've lost over the past year, and facing our shadow traits, our negative thoughts. Why do we do that? As I said with the previous questions. So, as well as look into the ways that we dim our inner light and drain our life force, thinking about the ways that we can recharge our inner vitality. And in astrology, the sun is symbolically represented as the source of all life and energy. It represents the conscious mind, the ego, our fighting spirit, our determination to live, create and move forward on the spiritual, financial, psychological, physical, material, earthy levels. And so when the sun is transiting in the constellation of the Centaur, who is half human and half horse, it reminds us to embrace the things we cannot see as much as we love the things that we can see, calling for us to expand our consciousness and try new things, ideas and beliefs over the coming year. First of all, as I said, by mourning, giving up by being self-critical, judgmental and prejudiced, ceasing from letting our past dictate our future. None of this is easy, and it's best not to try to change everything at once. As I said earlier, it's best to pick 1 to 3 things that you can to work on changing over the coming year, allowing optimistic, enthusiastic, happy-go-lucky energy of Sagittarius to guide you, allowing for you to kind of gain this kind of unconditional love and understanding and peace for yourself and others, dedicating yourself to improving your life and facing that darkness within. ourselves and the world and accepting it. It can be at first highly fearful and anxious and make us feel hopeless because the state of the world is in general, and also to face our inner darkness. Yet if we keep on working and walking towards transforming our lives, it can get better. And they may not be miraculous, yay, I'm all better now changes, they never last anyway. It can just be something simple and profound, such as just committing yourself to manage your low moods more effectively, so they no longer stop you from moving forward or getting closer to a higher power, or manifesting those relationships, career paths, or whatever it is you want to do. The sun's energy is down at its slowest, but as the solstice passed, the sun's energy starts to get stronger and brighter every single day. So it signals to us that we can also do this. And if we balance the need to meet the practicalities of life, the adult stuff like working, looking after our overall well-being, paying the bills, and balance that with our craving for pleasure, the side of us that just wants to hey, Netflix and chill, or just have fun, or get lost in our hobbies and distractions all the time, whether that be, as I said, hooking up and all the other distractions that we can do that stops us from reaching our goals. Because even if it's something as knitting all day, but you've got this dream to maybe jump out the sky or become an astronaut, and maybe not everyone can do that, but whatever your dream is, if you spend all your time not working towards that dream, then you're not going to get there. Learning to be more patient with yourself and avoid restlessness as you bring around these much needed sort of like transformations in your life, and avoid excess of, as I said, in all directions, because positive habits such as exercising, saying mantras all the time, meditating all the time, doing even these things, if we're not taking care of the practicalities, will bring us out of balance as well. So yeah, on the solstice, Mercury makes a conjunction with Venus, so allowing us to communicate with each other more diplomatically and listen to each other's needs with an open mind. Although the strongest conjunction between Venus and Mercury doesn't happen to the 28th, this energy still has an influence in the winter solstice and supports us having those meaningful discussions or going deep with ourselves as well. Mercury also makes a conjunction to Pluto, so this can make people more manipulative. Some people may say extremist things, take explosive action to get their point across, yet this supports deep conversations, avoiding the surface levels of chatter, helping us start those research or writing projects or anything else, allowing for sharp intellectual judgment, taking an all-inclusive approach to get to the bottom of any issues and deliver good work. For some of you who've got deadlines to meet, this energy gives you the focus to not just spend all your time partying, which could get yourself, especially those of you who are working from home, because when we're working from home it's just like, hey, party every day. So yeah, this energy supports you to be focused while having some fun as well. Negatively, at the time of the solstice as well, this energy it brings around deception, so some people may use tricks to get what they want as well. Communication may not be as straightforward, so just gather all the facts, especially in social and intimate settings, and watch out for deceiving yourself as well, because you can just deceive yourself. I've done all the questions in this, ask just some focus, and you may be, oh no, I'm fine, yeah, I love myself and all the rest of it. So it can prevent you getting real. But Pluto's influence can also just make you intensely just be focused on self-improvement, or getting to the bottom of if you think your partner's cheating or something like that. That can be revealed at this time, and then you can just be intense with your words and harsh with your words, so just watch out for that as well. Uranus also makes a conjunction to the North Node, so this brings, again, allowing us to get out of the old and step into the unknown, even though it is scary. But watch out for not just seeking adventure or doing things just to shock others and disarm them, and just to also, some of you may use this energy to just, like, as I said, block your feelings and numb yourself to them as well. But all in all, it supports the innovation of creative ideas and expression as well. Mercury also makes a trine to Uranus, so again, another aspect. So it's important, it's all these energies are gathering up to give us that clear judgment, those original ideas and those observational skills, and allows us to resolve the conflict that will come up today, any conflict, or over the next couple of months as well, because the effect of the spring to solstice energy disperses and will affect us throughout the winter. It's not just one day. Again, allows you to even look positively at even the most negative things that happens right now. Negative on the spiritual level. Those of you who want to be authentic bringers of change or for humanity may be given insight into a way to do so. Yet no, before we change the world, we must transform ourselves. Mercury trine Uranus at the time of the solstice allows for the subconscious, ethereal, lateral thinking and conscious, logical minds to work together. If you can stay grounded, intuition can be accurate right now, and some of you may gain flashes of inspiration. Great for all manifestation work and energy cleansing and realignment rituals, which can be as simple as a nice bath, burning some white sage or some Palo Santo. Also, Venus makes a trine to Uranus, so again allows us to compromise, so it supports the compromise in relationships with our lower and higher selves, our good and bad, our darkness and our light. Increases intuition, also giving us that, adding to the energy of being more enthusiastic about life and doing something new and exciting and breaking away from the mundane and challenging yourself to try and be someone, well, be your authentic self, and breaking away from conformity as well and allowing yourself to be a bit more truly independent. Venus trine to the North Node as well supports that. For some of you, the solstice time can be a time of emotional or spiritual awakening. Fated relationships can happen, or friendships or creative partnerships can also begin or deepen, but be careful about leaping into anything new or committing to a existing one as well. For some of you, especially those with strong North Node of Venus energy in your chart, make sure you see what is rather than what you want to be. Still, it can be the real thing, going within to reveal your highest wishes, someone in a dream or waking life that aspires you to do better. Soul higher consciousness connection, starting a beneficial project, making wise choices that will increase your self-worth and belief. Mercury also makes a sextile to Neptune, so this influences feeling creative, inspired, passionate in your outlook and having the courage to express yourself. Imaginations can soar and send, and ideas can become alive if you make strategic plans to bring them into reality. Harnessing the power of expression, allowing for some of you to appreciate or make great music, poetry, film, or art at this time, or you're just writing down goals so that you can become better at your creative expression. Mars makes a sextile to Chiron as well, so this also adds to feeling more compassion for your own pain and others' pain, helping those less fortunate than you, and because this can enrich your life and theirs, and it is the season of giving after all. Sun also makes a square to Jupiter, so again, it allows for you striving towards those goals, giving you that determination. So as you can see, a lot of energy, a lot of aspects that are happening today is wanting us to think more positive and strive towards those goals, influencing self-belief and your capabilities to get what you want. So it's boosting that confidence there, allowing for you to, again, become more optimistic, be more inspirational, and that calculated risk can pay off, but negatively, because we're talking about square as well. It's happening between Sun and Jupiter. Some of you may get caught up in your self-expression and block others from being themselves. Overconfidence can lead to errors and shortcomings, forgetting important details, drink, like I said, or just be a bit more absent-minded right now and forget to do your work. So try and take care of the practicalities once again. Also, because the Sun squares Jupiter, can make people abuse power or argue over different beliefs and that as well. So just make sure you don't waste energy, protect yourself, stand up for yourself, but pick your battles wisely. Remember, this time is about each individual going in and figuring out what they need to let go of in your life. And for some of you, that will be stop being argumentative as well. Venus also makes a square to Chiron, so for some of you, intimate relationships can be challenging, can be painful endings, but it's also supporting that addressing early childhood feelings of rejection, and it creates the opportunity for you to work through these so you can experience more joy in your relationships in the future and develop empathy for yourself and others, and you can prepare to uncover, understand and heal and manage your psychological trauma. So it's helping for those of you who want to heal your wounds, you can do so. Moon also opposes Mars, so it's another warning that it's essential to think before you attempt to express yourself and before you rush into anything, because you may be like, yeah, feel it, want to try all these new things, and then like I said earlier, burn yourself out. Moon opposes Mars also allows for you to be more balanced in your life and focus and be more determined and doing things that can release your stress. Jupiter's ongoing semi-square with Uranus, again, it's reminding us to let go of the old and the stagnant, to get forward into new concepts, unleash the energy of the winter solstice and stoke the flames of your desires for something new and plan for that to happen. Not to be overwhelmed by what lies ahead, because sometimes we do want to change, but it can be overwhelming. You know, we're all snug in our comfort zones. It's all warm here. Yeah, comfort, I know what I'm doing. But sometimes staying in our comfort just makes us live our whole life never trying to attempt to bring our dreams into reality, and then we say things like, oh, I never had the opportunity or anything. And yes, sometimes this is the truth, but 9 times out of 10 it's because we don't try to do the things because we don't believe. So again, it's important to deal with the blocks emotionally, psychologically and spiritually that stops you from doing that. You can start small and dream big. Don't let your negative thoughts prevent you from starting new things. Carefully choose which things to start. Don't start everything at once, as I said earlier. Pick 1 to 3 things to start and create an action plan. Drop down your objectives and strategies and prioritise the ones you are more passionate about, and to avoid being overwhelmed and giving up in 2 weeks. And just remember that, you know, even the smallest of dreams or even the biggest of dreams, whatever it is, you can bring them into reality with careful planning. Now, the esoteric, hidden kind of spiritual aspects that's happening on the solstice is that Mars is making the sesquisquare to Pluto. So again, this is warning you or showing us that the rejection you experience from others in the past or at this time because of your ideas or your past or current actions can lead you feeling isolated, or your unforgiveness can leave you drowning in feelings of shame and regret. You must know that we're all only doing the best that we can at the time. This aspect supports that some of you may decide to join a non-conformist group that's kind of like anti-mainstream kind of culture, but make sure it's not a cult. All in all, be careful who, what and where you seek comfort from this solstice. Rather than run from your pain, try and embrace it as part of your experience. Mars is sesquisquare to Pluto, provides the planetary support that although you may be ridiculed by others right now, it's best to follow your truth. And also it's an indication that some of you, especially those who probably have strong Mars and Pluto energy in your chart, 8th house or 1st house energy or 12th house energy even, may decide to cut ties with family, friends or anyone else that you need to let go of. And also, esoterically, the hidden meaning of this Mars sesquisquare Pluto is that, you know, this influence, be careful how much sugar you consume, especially sugar in alcohol as well, because this influence, and I'm only mentioning it because it can interact with the adrenal glands, which is involved in our regulation for our moods, and this can lead to like impulsive, rageful behaviour, so watch out for that. The Sun also makes a sesquisquare to Uranus, so again, another So it's a double whammy. I've mentioned this, but it's a theme that be careful of what you eat, drink, or your environment, as this can affect your reactions, and unexpected events can affect your career or personal life. Additionally, this aspect signals to us that leaps of faith can bring the promises of excitement and renewal, so it's supporting that. Rebirth, that the summer, sorry, the winter solstice calls for. So yeah, what am I like, hey? So yeah, now I'm just going to talk about the Sabian degrees, and as I said earlier, the sun is in the 6th degree, Sabian degree of Sagittarius. The tagline is a game of cricket. So if you don't know about cricket, it's a bat, a wicket and a ball, and so yeah, and cricket has specific rules, such as the ball cannot hit the body before it hits the bat or a foul is given. Playing a game of cricket not only aims to increase your personal skills, you know, you get good at not hitting the wicket because you're close behind it. If you swing the bat, you could hit it, and also the rolls before leg before the wicket to make so that doesn't happen as well, and that the ball doesn't hit your body. I was forced to watch cricket as a child, so everything in life pays off in the long run. The things that we hate can give us knowledge, but yeah, I used to hate it. My uncles used to make me watch football and the cricket, but yeah, cricket gives you skills but also encourages fairness and collaboration. And as it's a team sort of like sport, it emphasises cricket the importance of putting the group's will ahead of individual desire. So because looking after ourselves and taking care of ourselves, although people say it's selfish, it's not, because it's thinking about how we can uplift the collective. So for some of you, you may just decide to improve yourself to do your part in changing the world. For others of you, you may do this for your family or your community, or you may set up an idea or continue an idea that can make the world a better place in general. But ultimately, the winter solstice and this Sabian degree, the 6th degree Sagittarius, is again asking us to do all we can to improve our life. And also, first of all, before we go around trying to change others, we have to change ourselves. And because some of us, we try and change others. I've been guilty of it, but focus on ourselves, and this is how we can get others to change, is truly leading by example. A lot of us fall into, oh, look at me, I'm so great, but our behaviours are not that great, and I've been guilty of that as well. As I said, all of us have good and bad traits. So yeah, Jupiter, which plays a lot of aspects are in Jupiter at this solstice. So the tagline for that, again, Jupiter's in the 6th degree of Pisces, so it's a dress parade with officers in a dress parade, sorry. So again, this is another symbol that calls for us all to give, just even if it's just a little bit of our personal egotistical behaviours for the greater good. It doesn't have to be a grand gesture like, you know, opening a social enterprise or spiritually orientated group that I mentioned earlier, but just doing something that can help you uplift yourself or others in some way, being a bit open-minded. It could just be that, just doing that, just being a bit more willing to set things out of your comfort zone as well. So that's what the Jupiter Sabian degree is supporting as well. And the sun makes a sesquisquare to Uranus, and Uranus is in the 22nd degree of Aries. So the tagline for this is the gate to a garden of desire. So it's reminding us that we have to be careful of overindulging in drugs, alcohol, sex, hookups, whatever, anything that distracts us at this solstice, and pay attention to what we really need to make ourselves better at this time. If you're just thinking individually, or the world, if you're thinking collectively. And yeah, this symbol wants us to say, yeah, in some places of the world there is scarcity, famine, war, poverty, but if we were to join forces on a global collective level, not to be woo-woo, but I do want it, but yeah, we can manifest a life of a collective abundance if we did do this. But a lot of the times we don't do this, and if we think about it, it's because of a lot of us don't do this on an individual governmental level. This is why a lot of these things that we all hate, the decisiveness, people hating each other, killing each other, and saying my beliefs are better than yours. But if we just share the world's resources a bit more fairly, things will be better. But hey, let's get off the woo-woo. And so it's asking us to focus on how we can make life better for ourselves, and to remind us that for a lot of us, we think that it'd be money, but many people gain great wealth and they are often filled with great misery, as others want to steal what they've got, or they've got to just be overly anxious, always on the lookout for people trying to do them over, as we say in England, in some way. And this symbol is just reminding us that theoretically we're all capable of living an abundant life. A beautiful vision that's within us can be met with hard work and embracing the inevitable pain and uncertainty that comes with living. Sharing is the power of unity, and it is caring after all. So yeah, Uranus in the 22nd degree of Aries is just wanting us again to bring into our mind to look at how we use our desires, how our self-destructive thought and behaviours drive ourselves away from ourselves and drives other people away from us, and how we can just improve our lives. So yeah, I'm summing up now. The sun's energy on its Solstice day reminds us that times may be dark, but spring and its promise of renewal and growth always comes. The pursuit of joy is an integral part of human life, as is pain. Yet in today's world, we miss joy and happiness as we can become busy competing rather than cooperating with each other. The more humble and ethical our ambitions, the more meaningful our goals can become, using our mind over matter to see the light through the darkness that's present, and having faith in your ability to change your life if you wish, is the overall message of this winter solstice. Now is the time to go within, reflecting and taking stock of where you are, although scary. Embrace the darkness and the silence if you do find yourself being alone at this time. See it as everything happens for a purpose, and if you can, be patient with the process of growth, allowing your intuition to guide you to the new. Training yourself to understand and use the winter's energy to help you uncover and cultivate and grow your own inner power, to reevaluate your life so you can find clarity and discover the way to manifest your highest potential, not by just meditating and wishing. You have to take meditation's part of it, but and being mindful and all of that, but taking practical action and not being afraid of your own shadow, because when we do this, we miss out on a huge resource of our personal strength. The key is to not let the darkness take over, but to work with it, channeling it into creative or any other project or hobby that allows you to let in the darkness safely as you transform yourself into a better you. By allowing yourself to feel your emotions and experience your darkness, you open yourself up to a spiritual transformation. And those who don't believe in that, like an earthly transformation, then see the darkness as a chalice, a vessel through which we can fill our souls with more lighter and more balanced emotions as we grow in self-understanding, love, forgiveness, care, nurturing, empathy and all of that, and learn to manage ourselves emotionally, spiritually, financially, psychologically as well. And often we can look upon our emotions as a negative thing, but the solstice is asking us to look upon them more positively, as well as our darkness, and doing this can give us a more deeper and more understanding perspective, and we can take our pain and sorrow and use it to build something more beautiful and meaningful that sets us on a path to healing and growth. Our darkness can be a powerful sort of like force, and with patience and resilience we can use it to our advantage, allowing us to move forward in a brighter and more fulfilling way. So the solstice just wants us to embrace the darkness, let go of what we need to, not all at once, write down, reflect, and just slowly step forward out of the darkness into your light. So yeah, that's the solstice, and that's the daily scopes for the 21st. So yeah,